Hello again, everyone. This is Abra, and I'm back to give my 2 cents on an article that I saw yesterday while I was perusing the sewers of Twitter. The article had to deal with Netflix retroactively editing old episodes of Stranger Things. This got my attention because it immediately brought to mind George Lucas and how he really angered fans going back and tweaking and editing and kind of redoing scenes in the original Star Wars trilogy. I'm more of a purist. Certain things don't really bother me as long as they keep the original intact. You know, as long as we have the original that we can go back to and visit and compare. But anyway, jumping into the article here, this was in GQ online. The article is by Jack King, and in the article it says, Netflix retroactively editing Stranger Things is the beginning of a dangerous TV trend. I don't know if I would take it that far, but it does kind of raise eyebrows. I'm not really a fan of this new trend. I've seen it done in other areas, remasters with video games. I've also seen it in the old episodes of Star Trek, when they put them up on streaming, they went ahead and made high def kind of versions of the special effects. So, you know, it wasn't as obvious that the planet was just this styrofoam ball in front of a screen. They kind of made it look a little more like a planet. And that's all well and good. I do think that they need to keep the originals just for historical sake. But going back, the article had to go back and make an edit. First, they were saying that they were taking out scenes that were a little, as they called, problematic. I think it was the first season where one of the older kids was acting like a peeping Tom and taking pictures of the young sister and while she was undressing. But they didn't do that. They kept that in. It was reference to one of the kids' birthday parties, or his birthday, and that was in the first season. And then I guess in this most recent season, they were saying, you know, that it was that day, but everyone was acting like it was just every other day. So little things like that, I don't really see the point in going back and retconning it and changing it, because I don't know, I think it's kind of fun for the people that really get into the show to kind of nitpick these things. I've seen tons of blooper books and everything from various shows like Doctor Who. They'll point out that, oh, hey, in this scene the cup was full, and then in the very next scene, you know, half of it was gone, and you know, stuff like that. I think it's kind of fun for the fans to pick up on. What really got me was George Lucas back in the day. In fact, they did a movie on this, an interesting documentary. I recommend you see it, called The People versus George Lucas, where fans were complaining Lucas is making all of these changes to Star Wars, but then he doesn't allow the fans to have access to the original ones. And then you're seeing copies of the VHS tapes and laser discs of the original Star Wars become kind of like holy grails, because people want to have this pure experience that, you know, maybe when they were a kid and went to the theater, that's what they saw and that's what they want to remember. And then they kind of give you George Lucas's point of view about how for him it's a work of art, and for a lot of artists it's kind of hard to just put the pencil down, so to speak, and say, okay, it's done, and let your baby out in the wild. You're constantly wanting to make tweaks and this and that. On a very small scale, I can kind of appreciate that, because there are a number of times I've put videos up and I'm like, oh God, why did I say that? Why didn't I edit that out? I could have done this. Probably will say the same thing about this video here. But yeah, it's kind of hard. I can kind of appreciate both points of view. But I think at the end of the day, for the fans, they should have access to that original content. It's part of history. It's out there. You know, let's leave it out there. Let's enjoy it. But what do you think? I don't know. Do you think in this modern day and age where it's easy to just go in and digitally fix mistakes that were made? Another one comes to mind is Game of Thrones, where they accidentally left a Starbucks cup on the table, and that embarrassed the creators and the editors, so they quickly went back and took it out for the later showings of Game of Thrones. Do you think that's a fair thing to do, that they should be allowed to go in and fix up their boo-boos? Or should it be they put it out there, the art was on display, and so now it's part of the public mind and it shouldn't be tampered with? Or if they do go and change it, should they have to have the original version out there for the fans? But that was just something that got my attention. I don't know. What do you think? Thank you so much for watching. Till next time, take care.